Hi, I'm Mary Roach, the author of Stiff. Full disclosure, while recording this voiceover, I had bronchitis, so my voice is going to sound a bit wonky. During Chapter 1, I learned how surgeons start their careers by practicing on cadavers.
Wow, so that's really important that you practice, because one false slip and it's all
But also learned how they maintain respect for human life while practicing on dead bodies. In Chapter 2, I learned about criminals that were aligned with the corpse trade. Some of these criminals would rob graves and then sell the corpses to local anatomists who would use them for study. This is Arpad Voss, an anthropologist who explained to me the various gruesome stages of decomposition. The body starts out uniform, but eventually devolves into a maggot-infested heap. In Chapter 4, I learned about the use of cadavers in automobile testing. For each cadaver used, about a dozen human lives are saved.
This is a black box. I'm not really sure why they called it a black box. If I were in charge, I would have called it a scarlet square. It's used to record the last few minutes before a crash so scientists can use it to figure out what happened. Let's take a look.
Wow, I sure do love being a pilot.
Lovely day for it.
For what?
Love.
Boop. Holy crap, we've lost engine one!
Holy
In Chapter 6, I learned about the use of cadavers in military weapons testing. In Chapter 7, I learned about the use of cadavers in testing of religious theories. One instance that I found particularly interesting was the use of cadavers in the testing of the Shroud of Turin. The Shroud of Turin is the shroud allegedly worn by Christ himself on the cross. In Chapter 8, I learned about the use of open-heart cadavers. These cadavers are the result of somebody who is brain dead, but their organs still work, so they can be used for organ transplant.
Stop playing that! Sorry about that.
In Chapter 9, I learned about the science of heads and whether or not they're still conscious after being separated from the rest of the body. In Chapter 10, I learned about the history of medicinal and recreational cannibalism from around the world. This included using urine from a public latrine in China to cure diabetes, and also entailed the drinking of human spit in ancient Rome for various purposes. For centuries, humans have struggled with one simple question: how do we dispose of our bodies? This ranges from burning to burying to digestion by bacteria, and some still go for the cannibalism route.
Hi, I'm Diane Sawyer. Today we're with Mary Roach, the author of Stiff. Thank you very much for being here, Mary.
Oh, thank you for having me, Diane.
First question. In Chapter 3, you talk about the human decomposition process. Can you give an abridged version of this process?
Of course. So the process of human decomposition starts with the first stage, which is the fresh stage, where the enzymes start eating the body, releasing a gas, which leads us to the second stage, which is bloating. In the bloating stage, eventually the gas causes the body to give way, which begins the liquidation process, which eventually decomposes the body.
Very interesting. Can you explain the various purposes of cadavers in scientific research?
Cadavers are used for many things such as cosmetic training, anatomy demonstrations, impact testing, ballistic testing, and even organ transplants.
Very interesting. Last question. In Chapter 9, you talk about human consciousness after being decapitated by, for example, a guillotine. So exactly how long can a human brain function after decapitation?
Well, usually someone is still functioning about 15 seconds post getting your head cut off, but scientists lately have been experimenting and they've taken decapitated heads and tried to infuse them with oxygenated blood.
Hi, I'm Mary Roach. Do you like learning about dead people and the uses of cadavers? If so, you should read my newest book, Stiff, all about how cadavers are used in our modern society to help further health and technology.
Call right now and we'll throw in a free set of steak knives.